As I go on to say about 1,000,000 times in this video, this is not a tutorial. If you're here trying to learn how to use the Oort Online World Builder, you're in the wrong place. If you're looking for someone that knows how to use the Oort Online World Builder and you're wanting an entertaining series, you're in the wrong place. With that in mind, enjoy! Hey guys, how's it going? I, of course, am the ConflictNerd. Hello and welcome to the Oort Online World Builder. Now this is something I'm reluctant to call a series because I don't want you thinking this is a tutorial because I have no idea what I'm doing with this. I'm sort of winging it to make this, and what this is a preview of a small section of an Oort Online world. Now, if you've seen anything of Oort Online, you'll be aware that it's a very beautiful game. All the worlds are friendly and fun-looking and ready to explore, so I thought I'd try and make something that's not that at all. So I'm calling this the Hellscape. Now, it currently has two biomes, the Hardened Plains, called that because they're made up of pretty much obsidian and nether bricks, and you've got the Hell Shards, and the Hell Shards are these, I don't want to call them mountains because they really are more like shards that are sticking up into the sky through the terrain. They're pretty much, that in my mind, that is hell breaking the surface and rising up. So that's the thought process there. You've probably noticed there are trees here. That's because even though it's hell, life is trying to find a way and not really doing much of a good job, because it really these trees can only spawn from, say, that height upwards. And only in this Hardened Plains biome, so there's not a lot of chance for life. There's not going to be huge clusters of trees or anything like that, so this world will sort of pose a challenge. It's probably worth explaining what actually makes all of this tick, so we'll deal with the Hardened Plains biome since we have it open here. So the way this all works is actually amazingly simple. I mean, this isn't a tutorial, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to be teaching you how to use this because I'm learning myself. I have no idea. This process, this whole build took me about 3 hours to put together after sort of learning the bare minimum of what makes this world builder tick. This is some seriously powerful tech, and, well, I'm not that good with it. But if we look at the Hardened Plains biome here, this is literally a case of dragging and dropping, okay? So if we go over here, I can create a new biome, and that is it. That's the biome box there. It doesn't have a name right now, but if I click here, or sorry, if I hold control, I can click this, and it'll break that link to the Hardened Plains biome, and that will actually get rid of the Hardened Plains. So if I do this, if you notice in the preview window, this is now regenerating all of the world, and because there is no Hardened Plains biome, the whole thing is going to be made up of Hell Shards. So that's sort of how that works. If you go ahead and click here, it will regenerate once more. We'll delete that node. It'll regenerate once more, and it will give us a mix of Hardened Plains and Hell Shards in a similar way to what we had before. Is it identical? It actually looks like it might very well be identical to what it was before. Looks a little bit different over in that corner, but that's fine. So that's effectively how that works. The height map is what makes everything all different heights, effectively. So you set the minimum and max levels, and you add some noise to it. The noise is effectively your distortion, and it's what generates things at different heights and all that. We could add a little bit more noise, and we should see, yeah, as you can see there, things are a little bit more varied, not quite as neat. I actually quite like that. I actually really like that, but it goes against the namesake of that biome in that it's supposed to be the Hardened Plains. So it's not really a set of plains anymore. So if we bring that distortion down to, say, 69, we'll see some regeneration going on here. And it should be significantly flatter than what it was. Yes, it is. It looks more like a plains biome now, doesn't it? Which is exactly what it should look like. I quite like that, actually. I'm going to keep that. You'll notice that the trees aren't spawning above a certain height. That is perfect. That's the way they're supposed to be. I would like to add just a little touch more noise, though. Not 101. Let's say 93. We'll see what 93 gives us. Just a little bit more noise. A little bit more variation in the landscape, hopefully. It seems like that is what we're getting. There's a couple of trees there in the middle. I like that better. So that's how the noise works. It basically distorts your landscape and gives you the shape of the hills and all of that. More noise will result in something like the Hell Shards. Lower noise will result in something fairly flat. No noise at all will give you a completely flat biome. The substrate, again, just winging this, is pretty much what everything's made up of. So the obsidian, the nether brick, it's basically just explaining how all of that works. There's noise added to all of these, which dictates where it goes. You have the maximum height that those various blocks can spawn in. For example, this gravel can only go up to Y66. That's because the maximum level that the lava can spawn at is, I believe, 64 or 62. It's one or the other. So the gravel will only spawn slightly above and anywhere below all of the lava. So it's effectively creating a beach, but not out of sand. If we look down here at the cave, you'll see that we have crystal, the white is granite, the darker grey is gravel, and the lighter grey is stone. That's effectively because here we can see caves are made up of gravel, crystal, and granite. Now the crystal should have a lot of distortion to it. Yep, as much distortion as it can get. If we lower that, you'll see that there is suddenly a lot more crystal in this cave, and it's a bit more widely available. I think there is another cave on this side we could go and look at. It hasn't really changed all that much. There's a bit here as well, but I like having higher distortion on the crystals, or higher noise on the crystals, just because it makes them a little bit more scattered. I don't want people coming down here and finding masses upon masses of crystals. I mean, they will do it. It's not difficult to find. It's just a case of the deeper you go, the more likely you are to find it. But I would just rather people weren't finding it ridiculously en masse. So if we go up to, you can see here in the main window, we have Plantations. That's effectively the plants you might have gathered. And that works in a rather interesting way. I haven't exactly worked this out, I will say, but I'm sort of getting there with it. So this first one links to the basic tree instance, and the basic tree instance is this right here. These are the basic trees, and if I just edit this to increase the radius on it, for example, we should see these trees get a little bit bigger at the top, if I'm not all that mistaken. They might regen, they might not regen. A couple of things are regenning there. There we go. The trees got a little bit bigger. As you saw, there was a little bit of regenning going on in the background as well. I would actually like to make those a lot smaller. So let's bring those down to a 7. And we'll see some regenning going on here. The trees shouldn't take too long to regen. It's regenning over there. It's making its way here. Any second now, the trees are now a lot smaller. So there we go. That's the trees. Just tweaked a little bit. This other one is a bush instance, and it's not actually creating bushes, it's creating these. These are technically bushes, and I could change them up a little bit. Let's say we've got a 1.6 taper. Let's bring that down to a 0.5, and we'll see the dramatic changes unfold as this goes along. It's now created what's more like pillars as opposed to little tapered bits and pieces, and I can't really say I like that, if I'm perfectly honest. Although, if we bring the height down to 9, we should actually see these look more like little boulders as opposed to giant things there. Yeah, they look more like little boulders. So let's say we bring the taper back up to 1.6. What will it look like then? Not really all that exciting, if I'm perfectly honest. So let's bring the height back up to, say, 23, and we'll see what that gives us. Something more like what we had to begin with. So I like that. That is an improvement over what we had. So that's effectively the world builder. This, as I said, isn't a tutorial. I'm not here to tell you how this works. I am not here to teach you the ways of the world builder. Maybe someday when I understand the entire thing, I will teach you the ways of the world builder. But for the meantime, I can't say I know what I'm doing. I'm winging it. I'm clicking things and I'm hoping for the best. I don't understand how any of the biomes really work, but I'm slowly learning. I mean, just look at this, the difference between the Hell Shards biome, and if we go down here and look at the Hardened Plains biome. The Hardened Plains biome has all of these different things coming off of it, whereas the Hell Shards are made up quite simply of a height map and the substrate. So that just goes to show you that I mean, which one looks more complicated? Really, the Hell Shards look a lot more complicated, but it's not. It's just setting the maximum height for things to spawn, it's setting which goes under which, and all of that stuff. So it's quite simple, honestly. It really is quite simple, and I'm really pleased with how this is looking, if I'm perfectly honest. I want to create a world. I want to create a world that actually functions and is usable. I don't think this is a world I could see people building in as such, but I could certainly see it as a world for people to try and survive in. So that's what I'm hoping for here. That's what I'm going for, and that's what I want to try and create. So if you want to see more of this, do let me know. My plan is that every time I sort of get somewhere with this world, I will share it with you, but that's implying I actually get somewhere with this, which is honestly unlikely because I'm not quite sure what to do next. So, with that in mind, thank you very much for watching. I know this hasn't really been the typical thing you'd find in the channel, but I thought it was cool to show off. I am a big fan of Oort Online, and you can check it out on all of the links below. I think it was recently greenlit on Steam as well, so well done to everyone over at Wonderstruck for that. I think it actually did it in record time as well, so that is pretty friggin' cool. Anyway, folks, I'm going to leave it there before I start making things that just don't work and breaking things. Seriously, I have broken this world builder so many times. So yes, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Again, I know it's a bit different, but it's interesting to me. Hopefully it's interesting to you, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.